Whenever you hear somebody say that a perfume smells edible, that it smells delicious, they're usually referring to something called a gourmand fragrance. And gourmand means that it smells so good that you want to lick it, you want to eat it, and it's triggering your salivary glands to kind of go crazy. It's like smelling dessert off somebody else and wanting to eat them down. All right. But usually when people talk about gourmand, it's always vanilla dominant. So I'm going to share a couple that aren't vanilla dominant, but to me are really, really good. One of these is one of my personal favorites, and that one is a Scandalo by Day 3, and this is a sweet guava fragrance. Now, it is marketed as unisex, but this one, it smells so realistic when it comes to guava, because typically when I've smelled guava-inspired scents, they're kind of artificial, candied. You know when you were a kid and you would have to take that cough syrup medicine when you were sick, and it was like watermelon, cherry flavored, but they never really tasted like the actual fruits, right? That's kind of my equivalent of my guava experiences with fragrances, that they usually just, yeah, they smell like a fake guava. But if you're somebody that has a guava tree in your backyard and you split that fruit open and you smell it, it's going to smell like a Scandalo. And there's also a lot of luxurious florals in this fragrance as well that are very noticeable in the background, because this is not the type of scent you smell on anybody. Okay, this is very under the radar. This is a niche fragrance that nobody knows about. Of course, people within the fragrance community, super into the fragrance community, might have heard of it, but there's still niche heads that do not know this brand. And what I like about this scent is it's a beast mode fragrance that lasts over 12 hours. Again, it's unique, but at the same time, very mass appealing. The type of fragrance that when somebody smells it on you, they're going to want a bottle for themselves because it's that good and it's that memorable. Now, what I also enjoy is the price point here isn't crazy. Usually with niche fragrances, I see them upwards of $300, but this is like $155 retail price. If y'all want discount codes, I'll put it on the screen right now. Just know that those are affiliate codes, but always sample before you buy something. All right, make sure you really, really love it. The next one is from the same brand. This one is called Tres Oros, and this is one of their newer releases. And I should say this is not a sponsored video. Okay, I'm not getting paid to make this video. I know that there's two fragrances from the same brand, but this house does really, really good at, well, they're gourmand fragrances for one, but each fragrance having individuality. Because I can assure you, if people were to sample this house, there'd be at least one fragrance everybody enjoys. That's how unique each of them are from each other. But Tres Oros means 3 golds, and this is a plantain fragrance. You know, like caramelized plantains, honey, and pineapple. All right, and you wouldn't think that these things would go out. Well, actually, no, they would go really well together, because I was thinking pineapple and plantains. But if you go to, like, you know, Brazilian steakhouses, that's a very common thing. You know, I feel like I do eat that combo more often than I thought. But yeah, this scent, I haven't seen those notes really blended together, like those 3 things being the stars of the show in any other fragrance. But I will say that this one, it is marketed as unisex. I do find it a little more feminine, same with the Scandalo, but this is something I would prefer to smell on another woman, because on my skin, it's more honey dominant, and I just am not the biggest fan of wearing sweet fragrances. I would just prefer to smell that on somebody else. So that's the reason that, you know, there's not really much of a dent, but also it's one of the newer bottles in my collection. And on top of that, I live where it's predominantly warm outside year round. So I don't really get to enjoy wearing the stronger sweet scents, but performance on this, really, really good. It does last over 10 hours with 1 spray. So definitely be cautious. 1 full spray is the equivalent to like 4 or 5 sprays of a regular perfume. So it's definitely beast mode. And again, price point, really good. Still the same thing, like $155 retail price. If you want a discount, you can use that. But both of these are gorgeous fragrances. If you hear any of the notes that I'm mentioning and they stick out to you, highly recommend to sample them.